The Adventurers is a 1995 Hong Kong film starring Andy Lau. But I'm not talking about that movie. I'm talking about the 2017 movie The Adventurers starring Andy Lau.
Where is he?
Hi, my name is Thor Heyerdahl, and this is my review of The Adventurers 2017. Like its 1995 namesake, The Adventurers stars Andy Lau. But it's not directed by Ringo Lam, it's directed by Stephen Fung. He also directed Tai Chi Zero and Tai Chi Hero. And speaking of Hero, he recently married Sue Kay, who also appears in The Adventurers. She should be glad she's not married to Matt Wu, who directed One Night Only, starring Aaron Kwok and Matt Wu's wife. His wife played a prostitute in a movie her husband directed. Sue Kay is also lucky she's not married to Steve Yeun, who directed his wife Karina Lam in Heaven in the Dark. Karina Lam didn't play a prostitute. It was just a shitty movie. I don't know why I got on this tangent. Let's move on. This spring, Andy Lau showed us that he's just as good as Bruce Willis at doing action movies with Shockwave. It was a big, loud, effects-driven blockbuster, and whatever faults it may have had, they're faults that are just as present in the Hollywood iterations of the genre. This summer, Andy Lau shows us that he's just as good as Tom Cruise at breezing through a lightweight spy thriller that does for plausibility what Eric Kautman-Fai does for subtlety. The Adventurers tells the story of a recently paroled master jewel thief who wants to make one last big score. Do they ever want to make one last little score? He's aided by a colorful cast of supporting characters, including renowned French actor Jean Reno, who proves that somnambulism isn't just a sleep disorder, it's also an acting method. But I'm not mad at him because the script really didn't give him a lot to work with. But so what? It really wouldn't make much sense to get upset at this movie's shortcomings, because it's a lot like pointing out chipped nail polish on a bikini model. Why focus on the bad parts? The Adventurers is fast-paced and glossy and so shallow you could walk across it without getting your shoelaces wet. But it looks wonderful, and it's entertaining within certain limits. And Andy Lau's smile could still light up a third-tier city for 12 hours at a time. The Adventurers is chock full of logically impossible contrivances, outlandish plot conveniences, and a bunch of mechanical contraptions. If concrete grinders were silent, the state of New Jersey would be a vacation destination. And when you have a mechanical spider robot that can do 90% of the tasks necessary to get ready for your big jewel heist, why not just use the spider to steal the jewels? Well, because then, of course, you wouldn't get to see Andy Lau doing the dodge the lasers dance. That's not a euphemism. Speaking of which, Zhang Jingchu does her best to make her character matter, but the script does such a good job of stopping every attempt that she makes that maybe they should have used the script to guard the jewels. Then again, the script does have a number of plot holes that would make a birthing whale weep with envy. Need to resolve a conflict? Well, apparently some people talked about something off screen, because presto changeo, the story and the characters' alliances are now magically where they need to be. But like I said, so what? The Adventurers looks nice, and it's harmless, and it never really seems to ask you to take it very seriously. It's very much a lighthearted movie that knows that it occasionally veers dangerously close, or straight through, self-parody, and I'm really not mad at it. Don't think about The Adventurers, just look at it, and on that level, it's a lot of fun. The digital effects are good, and the locations are really nice. The actors are, you know, easy on the eyes. And at the very least, it's kind of a nice throwback to movies like Once a Thief, or those Jackie Chan movies where these kind of, you know, European locations played sort of a minor role in the story. This isn't great cinema, but it could have been a hell of a lot worse. I'll give you an example with the first ever episode of Memories of Not Making Movies. I apparently auditioned for the role that Jean Reno was playing. I noticed it because very early in the movie, one of his scenes seemed familiar to me to the point where I knew what he was going to say and do, and I realized it's because I had actually said those lines and done those things. But to be honest, I'm sure the movie is much better with him than with me. If not dramatically, then certainly for promotion's sake. I mean, they wouldn't have put me on the poster, at least I hope not. I would have enjoyed making the movie and getting paid to go to Europe and making another movie with Andy Lau, Shu Kei, and Zhang Jingchu. But Jean Reno is obviously a much better draw for the movie, and I appreciated his appearance, if only because it does make the film seem a lot more international. Now, like I said, this is not a great film, but I just really couldn't get upset at it. It looks really nice, and it's kind of very lighthearted, but I don't know, it's just fun. So as long as you understand that, if you watch this movie, you should enjoy yourself. What's going to happen? You're going to watch Andy Lau smile, and Shu Kei and a bunch of other people, and they'll all have nice outfits, and they'll go to nice places and run around, and there's no real blood, and everything's pretty much harmless. But so what? It was a summer movie. What do you want from me? So if you get a chance to see it, go into it with that in mind. And if you do get a chance to see it, that chance should be because you paid for the privilege. Don't steal this or other movies. When this gets released to home video, I'll update the description with a link where you could buy a copy of a Blu-ray or a DVD. And as long as we're talking about money, please click on my Patreon page and think about chipping in, because as a Patreon supporter, you get special content that, you know, regular people don't get to see. And you'll get to know that if you really want me to continue making fun of bad movies and really struggling to praise good ones because I'm not generally a positive person, $1 a month could really help me do that. I've apologized recently for the kind of length of time between reviews, and in fact I'm having to shoot this one with my phone because my camera just crapped out, and that's after having replaced a laptop and a desktop. I'm doing the best I can, I swear. If you enjoy my review, tell me. If you don't, tell me. If you enjoy the channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.